Alright, so I'm Scott from South Florida Insider, and I'm here once again with Kaskade. Another year at Ultra. What's the vibe been like so far? I know you're just getting in there.
It's amazing. I only just drove in right now, but from what I could see from the car window was impressive. It seems like every year this thing just gets bigger and better. The production is amazing on the main stage, so I'm stoked. I'm excited, man.
And you've been dropping a number of singles, but when's the next album coming out?
The next album will be later this year. I'm working on it now. I just kind of started digging in at the studio, so it's hard to know how long the creative process is going to take. But yeah, I'm hoping for end of summer, early fall.
Is there anything you could elaborate on the upcoming album, collaborations, or anything like that?
A lot of stuff cooking, but it's all kind of too early to tell. We'll see what happens. I'm sure there'll be some interesting collaborations, though.
What's it like? But collaborating with somebody like Tiesto. I mean, you guys each have your own unique vibe, but kind of mixing it up together, producing a hell of a single. So
thanks. I think that was the idea. I enjoy kind of working with people from different spaces, creatively, because it doesn't make sense if this guy thinks exactly like I do and he writes music like I do, why collaborate? You're gonna make something that sounds just the same. The reason I went to Tiesto is I think musically there's some common ground, but yet we think of things a bit differently. He's more of a trance guy, and I'm more kind of organic and house in nature, but I think that's what it made it work, made something special there.
So it's not really one of those I got my own style, you got your own style, let it be that way.
No, I think the idea on collaborations is kind of bounce ideas around and meet somewhere in the middle and try and find some common ground about something that you're both really excited about. I send him a vocal, he sends me some music back, I combine the two and see what we come up with. So it's about making something that's fresh and new and sound and it's fun, and makes you excited.
And with that fresh and new sound, can we expect something remotely similar to Dynasty, or are we going to see something entirely eye-popping for everybody out there?
That's a tough question, because this is my 7th album, and every one I feel like is kind of a natural progression to the next sound. But some people are like, oh, it's the same. Other people are like, it's too different. So it's always tough to know what the critics or what the public's going to think. For me, I feel like it's always progressing, or else it would become boring. If it's boring, I wouldn't probably end up ever making anything, because I just move on to the next thing. So it's finished when I'm excited with it, and so I think it'll just be kind of a natural progression, which hopefully is eye-popping.
So it's definitely one of those things you kind of hope that every album kind of stands alone, not necessarily one album is playing off of exactly what the last album was.
Yeah, I think there's always a little bit of bleed over. For example, I did Angel on My Shoulder was on Strobe Light Seduction, and EDX remixed it, and it became a huge single for me. And then when I went in to make Dynasty, I just was like, oh, cool, I should collaborate with EDX. He did this mix, and it was amazing. I've got this really cool vocal. I don't know which direction to go with it. I love the melody that I wrote. The lyrics are nice. I like this. I don't totally know what to do, so I hit up EDX. I'm like, hey, you hearing anything? He's like, I got some ideas. And then we went back and forth, and then Don't Stop Dancing happened. And that's a bit of a bleed over from Strobe Light. It's kind of an idea that I had back then off of that album. But those kind of things happen all the time, so it's hard to, but I'm constantly trying to think of new and stuff that'll be exciting to me, and finding vocalists that really get me excited. Oh man, I've never heard anything like this before. I gotta work with this guy, pick up the phone and call him up. And that's how the Deadmau5 thing happened. I was like, wow, he's making some cool music. He doesn't have any vocals on there. I write lyrics, I write melody. I should call him up and we should make something together. That's kind of how it works.
And just wrapping it up, for the future, future, anything that fans should know about what's going to be happening with you, tour, whatnot?
Yeah, I'm doing kind of like a small run of club tours here in North America. I just came off from South America and a little bit in Asia. So kind of like this small club stuff. I'll be testing some of this new material out that's not totally cooked, but halfway there. And then go back in sometime in the summer and finish cooking the pie and put it out in the fall. And then hopefully that'll be followed with a full proper like worldwide global big room tour.
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.